Where are you from?
Well, originally, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was there for quite a little while, but even at a really young age, I just got into a lot of trouble. Just, environment. And then I moved down here. At first, I lived in East Point, got in the same amount of trouble, then moved to Ackworth, where everything was peace and love and great.
Okay. So why do you think you were getting in trouble in New York and Atlanta?
I think it was just, one, it was boredom, and an element, there's just a certain element, like certain people from a certain place act a certain way. And I think without my mind being stimulated enough and with a little bit of negativity and bullshit, I got caught up. Everyone gets caught up sometimes. Yeah.
And at that point in time, when you were, I guess, getting caught up in negativity, were you doing art at that time?
Not really. I mean, there wasn't many programs for me to express that, but in like little areas I was doing stuff, like non-consciously, like subconsciously, like taking photos and shit like that. I just would be attracted to other things, but just there wasn't enough opportunity to do those things. Yeah.
And so at what point did you say that to yourself that you want to be a musician?
That's a good question. I want to say around like 8th grade. I really wanted to go to Disney World, let me just say that. And by that time I had moved here, and I went in chorus, because if you like sung well in chorus, they'd take you to Disney World. I was like, fuck yeah, that's what we finna do. And there used to be these kids who stayed in the back room. They would play piano, they would sing, they would rap. It was dope. It was really dope. And then I guess from that moment I wanted to like figure out what it meant to be a musician and then to be an artist. So I feel like that's kind of the start of all that.
And so did your parents support your journey?
Hell no. I mean, I understand, right? Right? There's a lot of stigma towards being a creative because everyone has like, their own art style. Everyone can be an artist, but not as many people's art can appeal to a large group of people. So when you try to explain that to your parent who's busted their ass all their life, who done crazy shit, who lived harder than you did, that you want to chase a dream that's not like exact or it's not doable by every person, there's a bit of uncomfiness that comes with that. I think that's kind of where that derives from. Yeah.
And so what have been some of the challenges that you faced so far?
As an artist or like in general?
In your career, and then maybe after that we'll go to in general.
So I want to say as an artist, it's just being young and not knowing shit about shit. Because everyone says like if you want to learn a skill or you want to learn something, you want to learn the correct way, in a facilitated way. But like there was no metric or rule book of how to just be an artist. So you're in high school and you're looking at all these other artists who blow up who are of younger age, and you get a little bit of pressure on you to be like, I gotta make this work, but I don't have no backing, I don't have A, B, and C that the next person has. And I feel like that's what I've experienced a lot in the beginning. There's a lot of people who try to be my manager, try to finesse me. There's the fucking showcase hookah lounge shows, which are bullshit. There's niggas who are forcing niggas to pay to show their art, even though them niggas not even that poppin'. There's a lot of bullshit going on. And I feel like that's what I learned. I had to learn my worth. I had to learn to see through the bullshit, and I had to learn to trust my own conscience and my own instincts thus far. So, I mean, that's kind of like my trials and tribulations. It's just a series of scammers and fuck niggas and bad events and like wrong place, wrong time, or like, you trying to get a feature from like bigger people and you get finessed. Like, you just gotta learn. You gotta go through it. It's the growing pains of it. That's like my career experience in the beginning.
And so are you independent or are you signed to a label? Independent for sure. Is there like a reason why you want to be independent?
I mean, I just like having control of my creative space. I mean, I've been in like management deal situations where people are trying to take revenue that I don't even acquire yet. And it's not so much about the money that like really scares me or bothers me. It's the idea of like someone else having control over my intellectual property. So until like I find a situation that works for me, independent is where it's at, because I need my creative control.
Has your career as a musician affected any of your personal relationships?
Oh, definitely.
Like friendships or?
I feel like, one, I've lost friends to like two people aspiring over a same goal, and instead of trying to help you, they try to compete with you. And as far as like relationships go, it's a matter of my time, because like it's hard to decide between what you see your life panning out as and then a person that you love. And sometimes you have to make that sacrifice. Is it going to be you being yourself, or is it going to be, you know, this thing that may have an expiration date on it but you don't know? So it affects everybody differently, but like that's what happens when you give any large portion of yourself to one thing. Other things may be affected or to the wayside or not easy to understand.
I understand. And so, are you interested in any other art forms right now outside of music?
Hell yeah.
What are you into?
I love music a lot, but I definitely want to dabble in editing, directing, fashion design. I just feel like there's always going to be a creative space that I'd love to jump in at any time period.
What would be the number one space that you want to see yourself successful in?
It's either fashion or directing. It's hard.
Really?
They're side by side. I love horror movies. I'm a horror movie junkie. I want to make some. I have like a lot of ideas, even animation and like cartoons, like all that type of shit. But like, pieces, man. Pieces, clothes, dressing how you feel like dressing. Like that's like our earliest memory in a sense. Or something like that.
What's your favorite horror movie?
That's a good ass question. I want to say The Thing. Usually I'm not a big sci-fi horror person, but my nigga John Carpenter was really doing things. Don't watch the remake. Watch the original. It's like 1983, some shit like that. Watch the shit. I got a poster of that shit in my room. It's like that. It's a show like that.
So, you're rolling down the street in your Ferrari.
Right.
The wind's blowing in your locks, bro.
It's crazy.
There's money just falling out of the sky.
Where's it coming from?
Who's playing on the radio?
Shit, Ye.
Okay.
Ye's on the radio.
Really? So you're a Kanye fan?
For sure. I love Kanye.
Do you listen to any other artists, or is it like, you know how some people say like they don't really have time to listen to other people because they're always making stuff? Is that something that
I try not to absorb too much influence, because that is a thing. Like subconsciously you hear enough music, there are certain things that just hit you and you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like it can change your perspective. So what I at least try to do is whatever genre that I'm working on that time, I'll listen to like the opposite of that or like something different. But it's hard to not see a lot of creativity everywhere still though, because there's some niggas just killing it in a crazy way, and it's like gives you a bump, like, oh, I wanna keep killing it too.
It's inspirational.
Hell yeah.
And so, where do you see your music career going, like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line?
Honestly, I really just want to inspire. I feel like the biggest thing that I can do, if I'm being honest with myself, is like I can give it 5 years. I would like it to be 5 years at the highest level and give everything I've got to not only like, the accolades don't mean as much to me because all that shit's bullshit and it's based on other people's choice, but like how many people I can inspire, because that's how you know that it meant something, is that you gave someone else the will to feel something. Or even being a generation's favorite artist, like that's something that lasts in the minds of people, and that shit's immortal. So that's kind of where I'd be at. That's where I want to be at least.
Do you write your own music or do you hire writers?
Hell no. Fuck a writer. Hey, look, I understand. Some people out there, they're great performers, they're great personalities. Do what you gotta do. I'm not letting anyone write my shit, because if they write my shit, it's not my shit anymore. I'm not here to like just be a performer. I'm here to let go of all my creative vision, my emotion, in the medium that I feel like I can do it in. If I can't do that, then there's no point in me doing it. There's no reason. It would like defeat the purpose.
If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing? Like, if there was a career outside of the arts?
If there was a career outside of the arts,
what would you do?
I just feel like I would be somewhere else in the arts. Like, I have this thing about shit too, like, if I don't believe in something, I can't do it. So, So like I went to college for like 2 days. Like I'm not even joking. I was like, I know myself. If I don't feel like I believe in some shit, I'm not gonna put in the effort. I'm gonna do less of what I'm capable of. So I feel like I'd find my way crawling back over there.
And so what was your major in college?
Oh, recording arts.
Recording arts?
Yeah, recording arts. But I had to do like my first semester I had to do math and shit first. I was like, nah, this is not what it's about.
Wait, which math was it?
I don't even remember. It was like
pre-cal or something? Or calculus?
It might have been like pre-calc.
Oh shit. When's the last time you used it?
Like never. Like literally, I had a choice in high school to either do pre-calc or like advanced physics, shit like that. And I was like, I was in pre-calc for like maybe 2 days. Again, 2 days. That's my thing. If I can't feel it in 2 days, it's not real. 2 days, I got my shit changed to physics, bro. Fuck all that. I'm not doing none of that. This shit's not real. I don't want to hear it. It's not real.
Okay.
It's fake math.
So when you withdrew from college, what did your parents say?
Oh, get on. Get on. Go about your business. You know what I mean? Well, I never really knew my pops, but my mom, like, that's everything. Like, this is the moment she's waited for her entire life. And I feel like I didn't want to walk. I didn't even really want to finish high school, to be completely honest with you. But I did a lot of those things for my mom. I played sports that I didn't want to play for my mom. I was doing lacrosse and shit for my mom because she was like, oh, like, this will work for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they always had this mentality, like, oh, lawyer than judge or, you know, some shit of that nature. But it was after high school, ironically, where I had this idea of, like, it's time to live for me now. Because all of those little moments, I get that you wanted me to experience them because maybe you enjoyed them. But after that point, you can't do that my whole life. So eventually, I have to draw the line somewhere. Because I was like, fuck this. I'm out this bitch. Like.
And so would you go back, or is it like one of those things where it's like, nah, I'm not rocking?
I don't think I need it. I mean, my whole thing is, I feel like it definitely works for some people, but it's a gamble like anything else. So I have two options. Either I can gamble on what everyone else gambles, like the lottery of like going to college and getting a good job, or I can gamble on myself. And at least if I fail on my own, it's my ass. But if I fail doing something I don't believe in, then that's different. That's beyond different. You know?
So you said that your father wasn't around?
Yeah.
How did that affect like your artistry? Are you inspired? Like, does it give you?
In a way.
Content?
I feel like originally, especially when I was rapping at that time period that I wanted to rap, it was like that was something that I had to convey. It was like my first really introduction to rap and shit, because my mom was like super Christian, super, you know, gospel. My first introduction to rap was like Odd Future, and I found that through the kids at school, and all of their subject matter was like relative to like that view of like not understanding your parents or not having a father, things of that nature. So that kind of rubbed off on my rapping style when I started off. Everything was like, fuck that, like just anger and like, but now I'm like, it's really not that deep. It was never that deep. I had everything that I needed, so I'm not tripping.
Who are your top 5 artists?
Of all time, or just like right now?
Right now.
Right now, at this moment, who, even though I try not to get inspired by people out here, who inspire me right now, like, I say Gene Dawson. Gene Dawson is crazy. Genre-infusing music, that's all I'm about, anti-genre shit. Paris, Texas is really crazy. Stupid. Tame Impala, it's different. It makes me think about music different. New guys, I'm thinking new guys. Keem, I like a lot of Keem. Keem's production is crazy. I think playing with flows is really crazy. I think that shit's dope. And what's that last one? What's the last one? It's gotta be a good one. I don't even know. Maybe like Tyler. Even though I would say that's like my original inspiration, but still inspiring me right now. Yeah, I'd say Tyler.
Okay.
For sure.
But what about of all time? Like, what's your favorite
artist? Yeah, artist of all time?
Yep.
I'm gonna just do hip hop esque just for this.
Okay.
It's too much. It's too much. Ye, without a doubt.
Number one?
Ye is definitely number one. Inspiration, craziest, one of the craziest of all time.
Facts.
Andre, I think nobody could do what Andre did. I don't care. Nobody could do what Andre did. Honestly, for me, Frank. I really fuck with Frank Ocean. Another one. I feel like no one could do what Frank did in that space. Let's see here. Earl Sweatshirt, because that's my OG. My OG. I still think one of the greatest niggas to ever rap, for sure. Shout out to Earl. All time. This is hard. All time. Like a hip hop space. This is hard. Fuck. I would say Future. Well, I meant to say T-Pain, because you gotta give credit, but Future. I give it to Future. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't miss. Never missed. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Future, like, he has a run going.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still going, you know. I know it was like a few years ago. What song was that with Drake?
I don't even know.
It was on Dirty Sprite 2.
Fuck.
I can't remember the name of the song, but I feel like Dirty Sprite 2 is when like I really start getting into Future. I believe, yeah, Dirty Sprite 2, right?
Word.
But even though I heard him before, because of course we from Atlanta, I wasn't living here. I was living in New Orleans, but I don't know. I feel like that was the moment I was like, yo, man, this dude is like crazy.
You just reminded me though. I gotta take Future out. I gotta put Lil Wayne in there.
And no Drake, bro?
I gotta put Lil Wayne in there. I don't really fuck with Drake like that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Why? Why though?
It's not that Aubrey makes bad music or anything like that. Aubrey's obviously one of the greatest to ever do this rap shit. We can say that. But from my perspective, right, is how I try to tackle like all genres and all type of music. I feel like Drake tries to tackle all trends, all trendy flows, all trendy beats, all trendy styles. And I feel like that's like at least counterintuitive to how I feel music can grow. Like, I don't know, I can't vibe with that. Especially when like X came out. X should have been on my list, but yeah, anyway, it's cool. It's fine. It's
Tupac or Biggie?
I get killed for this all the time, Biggie. I just feel like Tupac was the greatest like inspiration, like just an inspirational nigga with vision and everything. But Biggie, as a writer, I don't think it's even close. I don't think it's even fucking close.
What's your favorite Biggie bar? You got one?
I mean, not to be simple, but it's like, you know, when I die, fuck it, I wanna go to hell, cause I'm a piece of shit. And I know that you fucking tell. It don't make sense going to heaven with the goodies dressed in white. I like black Timbs and black hoodies. Nigga's crazy.
Hey, okay, I see.
Or fucking umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. I'm seeing my death and I ain't ever take my first steps. I made it out, I'm bringing mad joy. The doctor looked at him and said he gonna be a bad boy. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That nigga Biggie's crazy.
So if you could give a word of like inspiration to someone watching this who's never made a song, who wants to essentially do what you're doing right now, what would you say to them?
I would say start. I feel like that's the biggest thing that people don't like give themselves enough credit for. When you take that first leap of faith and you start, even if it's in a place that you feel like you don't want to be in right now, that is like the stepping stone to you growing and you being more outward and then you trusting yourself. Because it takes all these little baby steps. The first song I ever recorded was fucking terrible. It was on Audacity. I didn't know how to mix. Audio quality was terrible, but I dropped that song and I dropped another one and then I learned from the process of dropping. Even if you delete, even though I don't think you should, but even if you delete, you just have to start. And that goes for any form of fashion or any form of creativity. Your start is the most important place. Where you start is where you build off of. You can't have a portfolio, you can't do anything. If you're scared to post music, post photos, or show your fashion, show your self-model, just go. Just go. You're going to keep running in that direction and you'll notice if you really love it and you're really meant to do it, you won't be able to stop running. There won't be a stopping point. Once it's on, it's on. So take your first leap. That's all I can say. That's the best thing I ever did. That's the best thing a lot of people I look up to who do this shit has ever did. Is take that first step. That's all you really need.